Hey, everybody, and welcome to Hard Rock History. This is episode 6, and this is a different type of interview. Again, I am your host, Paulie Christine, and what we're doing today is doing the Iron Maiden discography. And what's great about it is that they just got introduced into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they're coming to the States to do their Run for Your Lives tour. And I have a special guest today that's a podcaster himself. He had his own show, Tom Coyne. Tom, welcome, my man, and hopefully we'll do a lot of things together after this too. How you doing today?
Welcome, Paulie. I'm looking forward to doing this, brother.
Awesome, awesome. So we're gonna get down to it. We're gonna do the whole entire Iron Maiden discography, right up to, is it Shinjitsu?
Shinjitsu.
Shinjitsu. Hi, hi, hi. All right. So we're gonna give you facts about it. We're gonna play some music tracks behind us, and we're gonna give our opinions, and we're gonna rate it 5 out of 5 Eddies. So if it's 1 out of 5, that means it's shit. And if it's 5 out of 5, that means it's an at must, must, must. Okay, so we're going to start with the first album right here, and that is Iron Maiden. And again, when I started out as a youth, I saw this in the mall in New Jersey, and I saw Eddie, and I saw the back of this. It's a different background from the one that it is. This is the remastered version. And it looked like a Judas Priest ripoff to me,
Mhm.
honestly. It was a live background shot, and I put the record back. I said, fuck this. I'm not going to pick this up. They look like ripoffs. And of course, thank God one of my friends had it, listened, and that was it. It was all over. And I became
Game
a
changer.
game changer. And what attracted me to this was the first song, Prowler, is unbelievable. Love Remember Tomorrow. But the track I'm playing right now is the instrumental Transylvania. And I really appreciate what it is. You know, there's a lot of different moods in this.
Hmm.
Heaviness, a little bit of speed, great mellow. Remember Tomorrow is one of the greatest melodic songs ever to go. And for me, it's I would give it a 4 out of 5 Eddies. I think just for production. You know, I think it could have been amped up a little better. The release it was released in April 11th of 1980, and the producer was a guy named Will Malone. So I never heard that guy before, and I'm sure because the guys, young English guys, no money. EMI picked them up, but and I think they got them through the Soundhouse tapes,
Correct.
right? Right. So I would give it 4 out of 5 Eddies. What's your opinion to this, Tom?
Well, I'll start backwards going the other way. I would give it a 5 out of 5 because
Okay.
it's in my top five Iron Maiden albums of all time. My introduction to it was seeing it in Zigzag, what record store we both frequented.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the wall. I didn't know what to make of it. Now, being much more of an old timer than you are, I at that point I was just kind of trying to figure out the whole new wave of British heavy metal scene. It was a different sound. Wasn't sure whether I liked it, whether I fit into it. I was a dinosaur from the '60s and '70s, so the cover, honestly, at that time, the cover was kind of a little off-putting to me because there really were no covers like that. To this day, when I look at it, I still remember seeing that cover. I turned it around and I saw, the band, and I took a shot at it, and it was much more in line with like really good hard rock than like what I was expecting. I thought it might have been something like over the top by going by the album cover, and it wasn't. It was really good, heavy hard rock with a
Great
very
dueling guitars.
great dueling guitars, a very heavy production in terms of very heavy on bass and drums. I thought the guitars, like you had mentioned too, could have been brought up a little bit in the mix, but. No, I actually love that album, and like I said, going through the albums, which will ranking at the end, it's in my top five, so that would be that would be five Eddies for me.
5 Eddies. Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to the next one. And this album, hold on a second. from 1981, released February 2nd, 1981. And this album has one of the greatest producers ever in Martin Birch. And that album is Killers. And my man Tom's going to talk about that. Started off.
Yeah, part two to this, beginning new band that I think everybody at the time was very anxious to see what the second album was going to be. Now, this album I thought was a much more aggressive album than the debut. I think that was, to me, was the biggest difference between the two. This album was what was going to be like a benchmark for '80s metal. More aggressive, more in your face. Great songs. A totally different beast from the first album, at least in my opinion. I think on this album they really found their footing of where they were going, to go style wise. Yeah, a huge favorite of mine. I would go 5 Eddies on this also.
Well, I think the key to this itself is Martin Birch. Getting the guy that did Rainbow, that did
Hmm.
Deep Purple.
Hmm.
This guy creates a sound that is fresh. We're playing Ides of March right now, and this sounds like it was made yesterday.
I know. Yeah, it
The
hasn't
the
dated all the same.
quality, I mean, everything's the leads are on the perfect levels. The bass, I mean, they were firing on all cylinders. You know, this and one of the most iconic album covers you're ever gonna have in your life. And the majority of heavy metal fans that have patches or painted jackets, this is what you say. This is
Well,
the
Paul,
representation.
I have it on my, I don't have a patch, but I have it on my own.
There you go. There you
So,
go. See, you're scarred for life from it. So, what you didn't say? What were your favorite songs out of it?
uh Murders in the Rue Morgue, off the top of my head. Um, Let me see. What else I always like the Twilight Zone, Another Life.
And
Uh,
Twilight Zone was out there. That's
yeah,
completely different from all the other
yes,
songs too.
yes. Of course, Killers, which has really remained to be like one of the greatest metal songs ever recorded. So I would say those are a couple off the top of my head. But I agree with you with the production because the first album had a very 1970s sound production wise. A lot of those albums, those classic albums were had that very heavy bassy drum sound which that album had. This was definitely a more cutting edge guitar production. The guitars were a lot more in your face, and it was a nastier beast than the debut.
Well, you know,
As good as the debut is.
Steve Harris, I always felt wanted to be. He's the leader and wanted to be prominent. That you're going to hear that bass. He made that bass part of like being one of
Oh,
the lead guitars.
without a doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. So when there's a leader, he's still strumming away, man. You hear that bass line moving.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
kind of I think over a course of time, we'll talk about it on more records to come. It really became their signature sound. It wasn't on these two albums. It started to really a few
amp up.
albums.
Yeah,
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 what they call now the gallop.
yeah.
But he wasn't really doing the galloping sound
And
on the real early stuff.
I was a great Diano fan to begin with, and I still, in the long run, I like Paul's voice. I mean, I love Bruce for what Bruce is, and we'll talk about Bruce. But this is just, I mean, it's a perfect album. I can listen to this every day, and Another Life is one of my favorites of all time. And Genghis Khan, Clive Burr's drumming in Genghis Khan is
Yeah, well,
ridiculous.
I was a huge Clive Burr fan. I mean, we'll talk about it on the next album because that was his swan song with them. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen Clive stay with them. Certainly a lot longer than he did.
And I would definitely give it five out of five Eddies. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Anything less than that would kind of seem foolish, right?
Right. That's the one album that it really is a go. If you're gonna say, well, what do you suggest to a person who's getting into heavy metal or doesn't know, or Killers? You start with Killers. I wouldn't start with the first album. You start with Killers because that sucks you right in.
Yeah, because the first album, as great as it was, and I mean, I really love the songs on that, and I remember the impact it had on me. The first album really, they didn't have this signature sound really in place yet, and the second album, they were already, moving in that direction.
Right, right. So now the year is now 1982, and things start to change.
Big time.
So now there's no Paul Diano. The Steve Harris gets rid of Paul Diano. Basically, they fire him, and I think it's due to alcoholism. He's a raging alcoholic. His vocals weren't on for a lot of things. It just wasn't working out. And Paul Diano was more of a punk attitude. He wanted to be in a punk band, not a heavy metal band at the time.
Well, he was out of that. That was his background. Yeah,
Yeah. So
he kept the short hair purposely.
so they made him play the Reading Festival, and there was an opening band called Samson, and
Hmm.
there was a singer named Bruce at the time, and he was more of we would say the Ian Gillan type of singer
Oh yeah,
then. And Steve Harris automatically loved what he was hearing and started thinking about what he's going to do, with the next album. Diano leaves, Bruce gets approached, Bruce now becomes Bruce Dickinson, and lo and behold, they create Number of the Beast. Again, produced by the God, Martin Birch. Again, top 10 in heavy metal albums.
yeah, yeah.
And
What I
just,
doubt.
again, production unbelievable. Song list. I would, Invade is okay. Children of the Damned, phenomenal. You know, Prisoner, phenomenal. 22, again, the sequel to Charlotte the Harlot,
Hmm.
unbelievable. Number of the Beast, again, staple. You know, Run to the Hills, again, that was their single. So now we're in the MTV era.
That's right.
And now, because Killers and Iron Maiden didn't get video play, you know, other than if you would see, they released a couple of live shows,
Right.
import live shows, but nothing video wise as a single. And here comes Run to the Hills, which brought the world to know who Iron Maiden is. And then Gangland is a really great, really fast, really
Hmm.
chunky. I like that. And then the signature that they played, everybody goes nuts. Hallowed be thy name. You
Yeah,
know,
that's a benchmark song for them.
just
Still in
just
this set. Yeah,
I mean, just it. That's it. The crowd goes nuts.
yeah.
And and
It's an epic song.
and Bruce is so theatrical too when he sings certain songs. He just sucks you right in. You know, and listen. If I could go, I would give this 10 out of 10 Eddies. Beyond phenomenal.
But we're only doing five.
I know. So it's getting five.
Now, this album, one thing we left off on the last album, there was a lineup change already by the second album where
Oh,
Adrian Smith
you're right. You're
replaced
right.
Big
So
Dennis Stratton.
so originally the first Iron Maiden album, I'm sorry, you're right, had Dennis Stratton on guitar, Dave Murray on guitar, Clive Burr on drums, Steve Harris on bass, Paul Diano on vocals.
Right. So
Did Stratton get kicked out? Or he leave the parts
Stratton
himself?
was forced out by the guy that ran the band, the band manager.
Was it
Stratton
Rod
was
Smallwood?
Smallwood forced
Okay.
him out because he was into AOR and very big into American bands at the time, like Boston and Foreigner. And he was constantly playing it and constantly exposing the other guys in the band to different singers and songs. And he viewed him as a detriment. He started to view him as a detriment. I was afraid that he was going to have an influence on the sounds of the record and the direction the band was going to. He viewed them as like going to sap the metal guts out of them, and he got in Harris's ear early on,
Mm-hmm.
and they threw him out.
Okay. And they get a guy that was originally in Girl, right? Was
Yes.
Adrian Smith, and his name is Adrian Smith, and fantastic songwriter, amazing lead guitar player, and you can tell when you hear it on Killers the difference in the sound and the guitar work.
Yeah, I mean, has proven to be even till current uh, the difference maker, and I always call him like the secret weapon. Everybody
Right.
pays attention to everybody kind of more so than him. And he's probably the most integral guy in the whole band. So yeah, I just wanted to. So now on the third album, we have another lineup change.
Right.
With Dickinson coming in. And I'll just give you a little background on this album. For me, I have always, as a guy I really think I've digested everything in the decade of the 80s, extensively AOR, melodic rock, hair bands, metal. I thought there were three albums in the entire decade that changed things dramatically. The Queensryche EP debut, Number of the Beast, and Bon Jovi Slippery When Wet. This Number of the Beast, I thought at the time there was nothing that could touch it because between the album cover, the speed of the band, the strength of the songs, the strength of the singer, it really put them on a level that was there was really no, and I think it really led to the birth of early thrash and early speed metal because guys were kind of clamoring like, how do we do something heavier than this? How do we do something better than this? Because it really couldn't have been topped. That's how great this album was, and this how much influence this album had on the whole world of hard rock and
Right.
heavy metal in 1982.
Right.
So
And
that's
and 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 Dickinson's vocals I would compare to Halford then too. Searing up
oh
there,
yeah,
you know.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I'm sure Jeff Tate, like you said from Queensryche, was admiring stuff like that, listening to that stuff, and that's where he got
Well, the
his chops
Queensryche
from.
guys, I mean, that's another topic for another day, but the Queensryche guys were very, very into European hard rock, where
Yeah.
a lot of bands in the States hadn't even picked up on all the European band. They were huge fans of Accept, where most people didn't in the States didn't even really know who Accept were yet. So that's really what influenced the Queensryche sound. Not American bands at all, but European bands.
So, and your rating?
That's an easy five, yeah.
Okay. You want to
Yeah.
talk the next album up?
Uh, Yeah, that would be Peace of Mind. Another legendary cover. And one of these albums, I remember when it came out, it was talked about as, it's coming out, it's coming out. And when it came out, um, how could they top the last one? Um, I don't, in terms of impact, I don't think they did top it, but in terms of the songs, I thought it's pretty close to the album before. It contains my two all-time favorite Iron Maiden songs, which is "Still Life" and
Mhm.
"The Trooper." So that alone, gave it a very high rating for me. I always loved this album. There's one or two songs on it that I didn't think were great,
Sun
but
and Steel,
overall,
Quest for
yeah,
Fire.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But
absolutely.
like I said, like "Die with Your Boots On," "The Trooper," "Still Life" is probably my single favorite Iron Maiden song. And it's a kind of a deep track. People don't even really. I don't even know how much they played that song live. I've never seen them do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my take on this album in a nutshell.
So the same thing. So now we're in May of 16th, 1983, this release is. And again, as you mentioned, another lineup change.
Yes,
Clive Burr leaves the band, and now we get Nico McBrain from the band Trust and also Pat Travers.
correct. I knew him from Travis Band. That's why at the time I knew the name from Pat Travers.
So he went Travers to Trust, right? Or was it the other way around? I think
I think you're right. Yeah,
yeah, he went to
he
Trust
was with
after Travers.
Travis very early on. Yeah,
Yes, yes. And he did some great work with Pat too,
yeah.
you know. So the same thing. Now you have a great energetic drummer, you know. I mean, first song right out of the box where Eagles there. Come on. you know. And same thing.
Yeah, honestly, I never knew that he had those type of chops. I mean, like I looked at him as more of a straight up '70s blues based drummer. I always thought it was a very odd choice that they took him because I never thought he really had the chops to play in this band. And when you heard him on this album, you realized he
Right,
did.
coming from where he came from. I think he
Right.
started playing a lot heavier with Trust. That's
I
why maybe
guess.
they
Yeah.
saw that, you know,
Right.
because
Yeah.
they were more driving compared to Pat. Pat was more bluesy,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
you know. Yeah, so my favorites, I love Flight of Icarus. You know, the Trooper, of course. You know, it's a staple. Die with your boots on, same thing. Just
Yeah.
and it's the same thing. And again, uh, Mr. Martin Birch producing again. So listen,
Yep. He's
they
become a
held on to
mainstay
that.
at this
They
point.
held on to him, knowing
Mhm.
he was the secret sauce,
Yeah.
honestly, for what they were doing. And just a great album, a great tour. Now they're basically doing arenas now with
Yes.
this album. You know,
Correct.
where Number of the Beast, they were still kind of doing they were doing theaters and stuff
Yeah.
like that in the States.
Yeah, they did a very extensive tour, and I think they hit. From what I remember, they play a big show in Poland at the time on this tour.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, overseas, forget about it. They were monsters
Well,
already.
yeah, they this album broke them huge overseas. Not so much in the States yet. I mean, they were going over bigger and bigger in the States, but it was really the next album we'll talk about that
Right.
broke them
And
huge.
I would give this 5 out of 5 myself. Yeah, I get 5 out of 5 Eddies, definitely. So now
Yeah, I
you
would. Yeah, that's somewhere between 4.5 and
oh
5.
really? Oh,
Well,
you know
yeah,
what? You know what? I take that back. I would believe it too. I would give it 4 because of those songs that we talked about with Men's and Men.
yeah, maybe 4.5. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Me too. All right. I agree. So now we come to September 3rd, 1984 release. Again, Martin Birch and this one's a friggin' home run. I don't want to hear it, you know?
Well, you might hear a little something. You
What
might get a
oh
little grudge
okay.
back.
Okay, good. Another great album cover. Love this
Oh yeah,
album cover to death. And this is Power Slave. And again, opening Aces High, unbelievable. 2 minutes. I mean, this had a lot of singles on it that was great.
oh yeah,
Back in the day, if you guys whoever's watching is younger, I'm in my late 50s, Tom's in his 60s, so we had the benefit of being there.
you
So
have
if
to let
you
my age out of the bag, huh?
right, so if whoever's in their 30s or 20s or whatever, you didn't understand that this band especially liked to put out singles. And a lot of import singles, and they would get B-sides with live stuff on the back of it, and picture disc. I mean, they really went with the Eddie mascot and really went all the way with it with the promotion of stuff coming out with it.
Yeah,
And I honestly, "Lost for Words" is one of my favorite songs. Love Power and "Rhyme the Ancient Mariner." In the beginning, I wasn't crazy about it because of the length and the talking and this and that. And then as I got older, I liked it more. I got to like it
oh,
more.
I love that song. It's my
Yeah.
favorite song on the album.
So I would give this, and it was a fantastic tour too. I would give this 4.5 Eddies.
Okay, well, I'll talk a little bit about it, then I'll give you my ranking. Um, I thought this album was kind of spotty, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
Had the big songs on it, but there was stuff like Flash of the Blade, The Duelist, Back at the Village. I didn't think those were great songs. I never liked the song Power Slave. To me, it was a plotting.
Really?
Yeah, I never liked that song. It just was plotting and like the whole. I don't know. I didn't. To me, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner saved the album, and of course, the first couple of songs on the album are great. For me, this would be like 3.5.
Wow, and I love Flash of the Blade. I love that beginning. Now. I love that beginning.
Yeah, I know this album. Like never. I always thought it was kind of spotty. I mean, it's iconic. at least to me, because this was the album that broke them in the States. And,
Yes.
they came out with the live movie of that from the Long Beach Arena, which
They
was,
played, yeah, right. Live After Death, they did.
yeah,
Yeah,
which
they
was
played
phenomenal. Yeah. I mean,
five
that's, yeah,
nights at Radio City,
right. Yeah. This put
and
them over huge, huge, huge.
yeah,
And like I said, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner is one of my favorite Maiden songs. There are a couple other really good songs. I thought there was parts, and I don't like Power Slave at all. So,
wow.
yeah. To me,
Wow.
it was a riff, and the whole thing never resonated with me. To me, it was just like a plotting that just like I couldn't wait for it to end. So yeah, but for the strength of it and what it meant to their career,
Uh,
I'm not going to totally slag it. So I'll say 3.5
so
on.
please leave your comments on this on this one for Tommy. Listen again, it's
I'm
his
brutally honest.
opinion.
What can I tell you?
It's all about our opinions. That's great. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. And your rating?
3.5.
Oh wow. Oh, listen, it is. Oh my God, I
Well,
love
when
it.
you see the ratings, when I do the rankings, you'll see where it ranks in my top, in my 1 through 17. So,
Okay.
it's kind of commensurate with that. So,
All right, now we're going on to an album I know that you really love. And which song do you want me to play for you?
wow, I literally love everything on this. I would
Well,
have to
choose
say,
one.
yeah, Heaven Can Wait.
All right. And now we're going to September 29th, 1986. Now they're going into a different way, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Somewhere in Time.
Yep.
And I'm going to make you start. Again,
Okay, so
produced by Martin Birch, another Martin
yep,
Birch.
still with Martin Birch. A different sound in terms of you got a lot of like synthesized guitar sound. You got keyboards mixed in, synthesized keyboards. The heaviness was not sacrificed at all, but you definitely had a lot of different synth type of sounding guitar uh, from both of them, Murray and Smith. I thought the songwriting on this album was just incredible. I literally think every song on this album is like somewhere between a 9 and a 10. Um, I saw them on this tour at Madison Square Garden with Wasted opening for them with Danny Vaughan.
Danny Vaughan.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm getting back quick to the Power Slave. Queensryche was the opener
on the Power
on the
Slave.
Power
Yes.
Slave tour. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
And the tour was great. It was to me. This was when I heard this album. I probably had the biggest effect on me, aside from just finding out about them at the very beginning. So, yeah, I mean, I could expound about every track, but it's no secret. Anybody that knows me, this is far and away, in my opinion, their best album. So, five is easy.
Okay. This is my transitioning album with Maiden for me. And again, like highlights, wasted years, caught somewhere in time. I was never crazy about Heaven Can Wait.
Really?
Yeah, I just wasn't a fan
Some of
of
the
that.
songs, some of the songs were kind of commercial. They were
Yeah,
like
oh
very,
well, yeah. They
very
were.
hooky,
Listen,
hooky
back
songs.
especially in that era, and again, you got to remember, like I keep saying, there was a time called the MTV era. You
Mm-hmm.
needed to make a video, and the song had to be AOR friendly.
Mm-hmm.
That the kids, it would just catch your ear because a lot of kids didn't. They would use MTV as background music, and go about their lives and do it. And then if it caught them, their ear, then they would turn and watch the video. And if you called up and they went in heavy rotation,
Mm-hmm.
forget about it. Then everybody saw it. Who was into Madonna saw an Iron Maiden video.
Right.
You didn't have a choice. I thought the live tour was a little hokey with Bruce with that the the suit on with it lit up, and I don't know. It didn't float my boat. I love loneliness of the long distant runner.
Phenomenal.
I think it's phenomenal. Alexander the Great, and they were trying to get that 8-minute song again with Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
Right. And that was the one song maybe back in the day I wasn't wild about. It actually did grow on me over the years. I do like, let's put it this way. I definitely uh, like it more than when I first heard it.
Yeah, well,
But
Steve all of a sudden now that was his pilgrimage. That one song had to be epic.
I
Okay.
like it better than Power Slave, the song. So
Yeah.
let's put it that way.
I honestly I would give this 3 out of 5 Eddies.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
All
enough.
right. So now we're moving on to, and
Seven
I'm gonna make
Son
you
of a
talk
Seven
about it because this is
Son.
another album that you really love. And what song would you want to do for this one?
Hmm. Let's see.
I
I
know
would
what song
like to go
I
with,
would pick.
would have to be The Evil That Men Do.
Ah, there
Yeah.
we go. Great opening. Whenever I hear this
It's
on
a
a
great,
live, oh, I'm
yeah.
in. You got me. You
Yeah.
got me.
This was an incredible album.
Phenomenal.
Honestly, I've always looked at this in Somewhere in Time as being equally good. The only thing that would made Somewhere in Time ahead of it for me is that there was one song on this album that I absolutely hated. And it's the only song that I absolutely hate that Iron Maiden never did. Can I Play with Fucking Madness? I
Okay. Okay.
hated that song.
Okay.
And
So
it's so
let's
good.
get into it. So now it's April 11th, 1988 release. Uh and again, stick with Martin Birch. That's it. That's that guy. He is the what member would he be? The sixth member of Iron Maiden,
Yeah.
right?
Well, before they went to a triple X attack.
So again, so go ahead. You started off.
Yeah, I mean, this was part two for me of Somewhere in Time. I always thought this album was every bit as good, possibly even a nod better, but it had one song on it, the aforementioned "Can I Play with Madness," that I detested. I thought it was a
Which they
stupid.
used that which was the single.
It was a single. I thought it was a stupid commercial song that
Yeah.
just ruined the fucking album. From the time that I got it on cassette, before I even got the CD, it was immediately get through it. So, and that's how really Somewhere in Time became, my favorite album, because this did have one blemish on it, at least to my ears.
Okay. You
But
done?
it's style wise, it's very similar, and sound wise, what they were doing at that time, it really was a part two of Somewhere in Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a lot of keyboards and spots, the synthesized guitar sound, which was in vogue at that time. Yeah, they're two phenomenal albums in my opinion.
And how many Eddies?
Oh, five. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Again, I'm going to give you the mindset of how when I was of the age in 1988. I was 22 years old, and I was listening to a lot of different things then, and this wasn't floating my boat.
hmm.
I was not a big fan of this. I'm a fan now
Okay,
as I
that's
matured, but I'm going to tell you my original way of how I thought about this. This song was great. Can I Play with Madness? I thought was ridiculous.
thank you.
Um, Infinite Dreams, Seventh Son, I enjoyed. I thought
Yeah,
the rhythm of that and the
yeah,
chorus of that I thought was really really good. Prophecy, I could take or leave.
yeah. The Prophecy,
Clairvoyant, I
great.
enjoyed.
Yeah, that great
You
song.
know, and the only good Die Young is a good song too. So
Oh
and
yeah.
the tour was a decent tour, and I
Oh
appreciated
yeah. No, I
the
saw them
whole
on this
Eddie,
tour also. They were great.
just and I'm glad, and you know what is, and now that I'm older, I'm glad that they did this album again. They came back and gave this its justice and redid it and brought it back and brought this Eddie back too on tour. It was really good. I would give it 3.5 Eddies for
Okay.
myself.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
obviously a five for me. So,
yes. So now we get to
I believe we're up to No Prayer for the Dying, right?
okay. Then I'll start with No Prayer. And where are we? Ah. So this album, October 1st, 1990, still sticking with Martin Birch. And not for nothing, the last album was almost an hour long,
Mm-hmm.
53 minutes. This one's only 43 minutes.
Yeah, because they had no ideas. They
Right,
ran out of ideas.
right. So here we go. No Prayer for the Dying right here. Decent cover. I like it. We got back to the original Eddie
Yeah,
look
yeah,
for
cover
this
was
one,
okay.
right? And now another lineup change. Adrian Smith wants to go solo. He has different ideas that he wants to do, leaves, and lo and behold, Yannick Gears from White Spirit and Ian Gillan
Mm-hmm.
band,
Yeah,
and very much a Richie Blackmore type of player
totally.
comes into the band, and definitely gives it a different nuance to what it is. And again, some songs great, some songs eh. I wasn't a big fan. Again, I'm a big. Let me tell you, who I'm a big fan of. Big fan of Tail Gunner. Big fan of Run Silent, Run Deep. Um, I kind of like Hooks on You. Do not like Holy Smoke.
No, me neither.
Don't like the video for Holy Smoke. And that was during the whole time when Holy Smoke was all about televangelist at the time. It was a big, big thing. They were always on
All the
TV.
bands were doing that. There were a million songs. Ozzy did it. Everybody was doing
Right,
something on Jim
right.
Baker or Swaggart or yeah,
And Steve's epic song, which was only 5 minutes and 30 seconds, was Mother Russia.
yeah, which sucks.
Right. Which that with decent to like Public Enema number one. It was just and Dave Murray contributed to songs on this album.
That's how desperate they were. He was
Right,
writing.
right,
Yeah.
right. They had no ideas. And there's Hooks on You is an Adrian Smith Dickinson song.
Yes, it was a leftover song.
Right.
Actually,
So they kept that.
yeah.
And Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, so repetitious,
It
you
was
know,
brutal whether Bruce Dickinson did
brutal,
it solo
live,
or
brutal.
yeah,
I mean, if you're a true
asinine
if
song.
you're a true Iron Maiden fan, that was the bathroom break.
Yeah,
You know, I would give this album, I would give it 3 out of 5 Eddies.
yeah, that's pretty. I mean, in my book, that's pretty kind. I thought this album was an absolute turd. Um, very little that I like on it. To this day, I thought it the worst album they ever did, and it had no redeeming qualities to me at all. Especially coming off of the two albums they just did. It really
Right.
was such a what. I remember buying this and being like, "This can't be." It really this to say I'd give it a 2 just because it's Iron Maiden, but I wouldn't go above a 2 on this. I really never liked this album. I never warmed up to this album. I didn't like the fact Adrian Smith was gone because I knew they were going to lose the songwriting. And yeah, this was. I hate to say it, but this was, in my opinion, this was a bad album.
Yeah. So now we are in May 11th of 1992. Now, here's a little difference. Martin Birch and Steve Harris produced this next album, and that is Fear of the Dark.
Yes, sir.
And again, I have mixed feelings about this album. I truly, truly love this song. If they I I hope they play this song for the rest of their lives, and so far they have. It's such a crowd pleaser, and
The
just
song "Fear of a Dog."
yes,
Yeah,
yes, truly love it. Highlights for me on this is "Be Quick or Be Dead," "Afraid to Shoot Strangers," the "Wasting Love" is okay, and
mm.
everything else to me is men's and men's again. So I would give this again. this is a selling point for me. If I would tell everybody, I'll be honestly, listen to this song and throw everything else away. You
Right.
know, I would give this to 3.5 Eddies.
Okay. We have very different opinion on this album. I love this album,
Okay,
and I was shocked at how much it tickled my ears after the one before it. Um, I what I liked about this album, there was a lot of very un Iron Maiden sounding songs. There were like
right.
some slowest ballady type of songs but I thought the songwriting on this album was terrific. The complete opposite of the one a couple of years before. Like I love Childhood's End, Wasting Love, Chains of Misery. Love that song. The Aberration, Judas Be My Guide. Uh, yeah, I thought this was a great album, and of course,
And that's Dave Murray contributions.
yeah, it
Those two
is.
songs.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I guess he upped his game.
Yeah, just to divert for a second, I think that album before it was very rushed. It was just, I think they had to pump something out, and the songwriting wasn't there, and they lost Adrian Smith at the
Right.
time. That's what I always chalk it up to, because the follow up album a couple of years later, in my opinion, was a great album. It's got like so many pearls on it, and a somewhat different sound. There were some songs on here that were like melodic rock, but they
You know what the
great
problem was
hooks.
back then? It had to be tour album, tour album, tour
Of
album.
Yeah,
So
and that right,
of
and
course you're
any
gonna burn
successful
yourself out.
band, yeah, that was with every successful band. Yeah, you had that constant pressure, and that's they got their shit together with this album, because I absolutely love this album. It's one of my when you go back and revisit albums. This was probably my album I'll go to over most of them. So it's a 5 for me, an easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. As I'm doing the chronicle here, it's unbelievable that there's like 10 million uh videos that started
Oh yeah, there
coming
were a
out.
lot of videos from this. Yeah,
After Fear of the Dark, they started like really cranking this stuff out. It's ridiculous. Because I'm trying to look for what the so wait, so technically, and we got to talk about this now. This really is the last Bruce album,
absolutely.
right? So now that's what we. So here we go. I got to get to here we go, and I got to find it in here because I can't. It's not showing me. Uh, oh no, it's X Factor. So talk about you start off. Talk about what's happening now, the transition.
Well, yeah, Bruce Dickinson leaves the band, which was something that had been out there for a while, that he was going to explore a solo career, and he did the first album, which kind of was just like a quick put together type of album, and then he did leave. The speculation of who they were going to get as singer went from everybody to Michael Kiske and Halloween to different new wave of British heavy metal singers uh, whose names were bantied about, and it was kind of a shock to me and a lot of people that they chose Blaze Bailey. I
From
was
Wolfsbane.
familiar. Yeah, I was familiar with him from Wolfsbane. I had the albums. Thought they were a decent band. They were kind of like more of like a pub rock type of band, just like a straight up rock band. I never thought he had a bad voice. I never thought he would, I just never thought he would get that gig. It turns out he got the gig because him and Harris played on a men's soccer league team together, became drinking buddies, and it just kind of, that was the marriage made in heaven, or at least they thought. Um, the album itself was actually better than I thought it would have been without Dickinson there. I actually think in retrospect, both of those albums, we'll talk about both of them. I think both of those albums were pretty damn good. Not great, but pretty good. How they were live was a different story. But Yeah, I like that album. I wasn't crazy about it, but it was better than what I expected.
And how many Eddies?
Three.
So now this album came out 1995. And now same thing. Timeline is everything. A lot of things were changing in music in 1995 also.
Yes, including the popularity of Iron Maiden was
Right.
drastically changing, especially in the States. Because I saw them, we had spoke about this. I saw them. They played Roseland Ranch in Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan, which was an old. Anybody who lives in Manhattan is familiar with Roseland Ranch. It was, and really like went back to like the 1920s. It was an open dance floor, big hall, and this was a band that, only a few years ago was selling out arenas. So they took a big hit in popularity, at least in the States. I can't say for all over the
Yeah.
world, but
I
yeah.
remember they also played Hammerstein.
Yes,
Oh
they
no,
did.
no. Oh, I
No,
think that was Dance of Death.
yeah, I was going to say it was another tour, though.
Yeah, it was another tour. Right,
Yeah.
right, right. So yeah, that the only see. I, I was all I was out of Iron Maiden altogether once Bruce was gone. So I had to revisit this stuff later
Okay.
on.
I mean, I hung in there,
So the album we didn't mention the album's called X Factor,
X Factor. Yes, I'm
right?
sorry. Say that.
And this album is 70 minutes long.
Yeah, it's really long. In retrospect, it probably would have been a better 55 to 58-minute album. It was a little overly long.
And
Uh,
now the difference too is Martin Birch is gone.
yeah,
And Steve Harris and Nigel Green are now the producers.
yes, yes,
And they start out off with, and I got to tell you, I think it was the most ridiculous thing to do is start off an album with an 11-minute song.
yeah.
Sign of the Cross
Son
should
of the
be,
Cross.
as everything, the last song on the album.
Yeah, that was weird. It's a pretty good song. I always thought that was kind of weird too.
But it's not again, I'm a person that you got to grab somebody. Holy Diver grabs you. You know what I mean? There's certain
Mhm.
songs, Neon Nights grabs you.
Yeah.
And brings you in and goes, holy shit, I don't know, fucking grabs you.
Hmm.
There's certain songs like Cider, like holy, all right, what's the next track? What's the next track? Holy shit, what else
Well,
am I gonna
yeah,
hear?
they also
And
didn't have
Sign of
a
the
song of that
Cross is such a
caliber.
sludge,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And my highlights, Lord of the Flies, man, I love Man on the Edge. I really love
Me too.
this song.
Me too. It's probably my favorite song on the album.
Uh Edge of Darkness, like I said, I could take or leave a lot of these songs, but I loved Blaze voice. I really did.
There are people. I happen to know somebody that likes him a lot too.
Listen, he's not high vocalist. He doesn't have the range of Bruce, but he's a clear vocalist. You know everything he's singing,
Yeah.
his enunciation is great, you know what I'm saying? And I really thought he I mean this is great to me, you know? But I said overall, I don't think it's a great album. I would have again. I think I would have to give us a 3 out of 5. Eddie's,
Yeah, I'm about the same.
you know.
Yeah. It,
So now let's
it
move
got
on.
it got a lot of play for me in this sense that I didn't expect it to be this good. I expected something to be more like, the tail end of, that album that I didn't like to going back, the No Prayer for the Dying. I thought it was going to be more like that, like a throwaway, and it really wasn't. But
Right.
in retrospect, it was nothing great.
So now, of course, Steve, who's with it at the times, as we'll say, is the computer age is now attacking us.
Hmm.
Slowly, it's growing. People are getting laptops and computers and this and that. And Steve Harris goes that way
Right.
and creates virtual 11
Hmm.
and even terrible. It's one of the worst album covers they ever made. Terrible album cover.
Yeah.
And they still have Blaze in the band.
Yep.
And again, it's Steve Harris and Nigel producing, but some highlights, like this song right here. The Klansman is my hallowed be thy name, is my fear of the dark for Blaze Bayley.
Well, it's easily the best song on the album.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I
You
mean
know?
they've kept it in their set. I mean they even had Bruce Dickinson singing it. So I
Right.
mean that's how much
But
he insisted
the,
keeping it in the set list.
the kicker is Future Real is a fucking great first song to start the album.
Very good song too.
Great, and written by Harrison Bailey, Blaze
Mm-hmm.
on this too. It's Angel and the Gambler, Lightning Strikes, Klansman, 100. Two Worlds Collide. Again, this is a mental. That Coma Estas Amigos. I don't know that was just a filler.
Yeah,
They just did it. That's ridiculous. Shouldn't even been on this album. I would give honestly in the long. I give this a 2.5 Eddies.
that's where I would be with it too. I mean, I had a couple of real good songs, maybe two that kind of propped it up. Um, but yeah, somewhere around that two and
Yeah,
a half.
this unfortunately,
Three might be generous.
Klansman should have been on a better album.
Yeah,
You
yeah, and
know,
they've stuck with that song for so many years in their
right?
live set. So obviously they think highly of it.
To the point that they made Bruce sing it.
Yeah, for quite a few tours. I mean, they did that multiple tours with Bruce. Had that in the set list. It became like a staple, which I was
Now,
always kind of surprised. But I guess at the end of the day, Harris will get his way. But um, I'm
so
sure.
now
Good.
I'm guessing Steve Harris is realizing this ain't working out. You're not playing the places you used to play. You're not playing arenas. Even in the UK, you're not playing big theaters. All shows that you normally play. And Bruce has uh, been successful with his solo stuff, but the same thing, not as big as what Maiden was with him. So as the millennium starts, Iron Maiden says, "Hey Bruce, why don't you come on back?" And to boot, they say, "Hey Adrian, what are you doing nowadays?" And they get Adrian Smith back. Now we have three guitar players in Iron Maiden. And for 2000, they create A Brave New World. Now they're decent album because Eddie, it's okay, because Eddie's kind of there in the clouds. And this was May 29 of 2000, and now they got Kevin Shirley producing this album. So now, of course, you know, Bruce is back, everybody's happy. The album for me, again, is just okay. I wasn't, I like The Wicker Man. I think Brave New World is good. Blood Brothers is really, really good. I enjoy Blood Brothers, and that's a great live song too, you know. And then after everything else, I'm not I could take or leave. I would probably maybe fast forward a lot of the other tracks, in my opinion. So I would give this I would give it a 3 then. A 3 out of 5 Eddies.
Hmm, interesting.
You go.
Um, Before this album was released, at the time I was writing for a magazine in the UK called Hard Rocks, and I had reviewed Bruce Dickinson's Chemical Wedding album. And I remember writing in the review, as good as this album was, I wish he would finally patch things up with Iron Maiden and get Adrian Smith and go back. Well, it wasn't that shortly after that the guy who ran the magazine called me up one day and he said, "You're never going to believe," because I saw what you wrote in your review. He goes, "I'm hearing from all over that not one, but both of them are going back to Iron Maiden." So this album for me was like a dream come true that but not because I knew they needed Smith. It wasn't just Bruce, and
Right.
for two of them to go back um, was
And not for nothing, Bruce's last album solo was phenomenal. but again, it didn't have the push like it was now. Late, it was
Chemical
1999.
Wedding. Chemical Wedding is better than a number of Iron Maiden albums, in my opinion.
Absolutely,
Yeah. So,
absolutely. And
as
he
far
was
as this
taking, and
album,
you know what? Too during that time, sorry to interrupt you, Tom. Adrian Smith was playing with them on
yes,
on tour.
right,
So that's another connection that brought Adrian back
right.
also.
That's right.
So go ahead, you go.
Yeah. As far as the album itself is, I really like it a lot. I agree with you. There's a couple of songs that are just there, but the stuff that's real good is real good. Like going back to like the first 4 or 5 albums, good. Like that of that vaulted opinion, and also they've stayed songs that have been in set lists for years, like you said, Blood Brother and The Wicker Man. For me, this would be a real solid 4.
Okay.
Yeah, a real solid 4.
And especially so now they were going from playing in Joe's Chicken Shack to Madison Square Garden, with
Right?
the
Did you see them
return.
on this tour?
Absolutely. I saw him at the
Yeah,
Garden.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw them at the PNC with Rob Halford and
Oh, okay. I think
Queensway.
I think I think Halford opened up too at the Garden. Also, the
Yeah,
MC.
it was like a triple bill because they gave Queensryche like pretty much like a full set.
Right.
Halford unfortunately didn't, and Halford was phenomenal, and Queensryche were at that Kelly Gray period where
Yeah,
they
yeah, 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 yeah.
like but that Halford lineup was incredible. So yeah, that was a great tour. Great tour.
So now we come to two. Now it's 3 years later, and that's the longest time they ever took, really,
Mm.
to create a new album, and that is Dance of Death.
Hmm.
And this came out September 2nd, 2003.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
again, they produced by Kevin Shirley. And this was another long 67, almost 68 minutes long this album is. So I like this album. I don't love this album.
me
Okay.
too.
Uh my favorite Dance of Death is phenomenal. I like No More Lies.
Yeah, that's a great
I,
song.
I like this Wildest Dreams,
Hmm.
and again, a lot of the other stuff I could take or leave. And the funny thing about it was it's wild that I think everybody felt that they got fooled with Brave New World when they came out with this, because as I said before, this show they played Hammerstein Ballroom for this tour,
Right.
which is such a downgrade
Hmm.
for Iron Maiden,
Yeah.
you know? So it's really weird. Like I really wish I could talk to Steve Harris about how does the booking happen that you go from the Garden and then the suggestion is let's play Hammerstein Ballroom the next,
Well, when they
again I say
played the
three
Garden
years
on the tour,
later
when they played the Garden on the tour before that, I saw them at the PNC, which was an outdoor place. How did they draw at the Garden? Did they
they
sell it out?
drew
They sold it out.
it was, forget about it because of the return of Bruce and Adrian,
Yeah,
you
so
know,
it doesn't make sense.
and the set list was decent. It was a good set list,
Yeah,
you know. So now to come to this, you know, again, it's again, and the same thing. Now they're morphing Eddie into all different things. It's not even
oh yeah,
doesn't even look like Eddie anymore.
I hated this
It's
cover.
a
It's probably my
terrible.
all-time
He's more
most
like
hated.
a
Yeah,
Grim Reaper skeleton now.
this was a shitty
And
cover.
Derek Riggs is gone by now too as the artist.
Yes.
And that makes a whole difference. And now they're doing more on computer. It's not hand drawn anymore. There's a lot of
Yeah.
difference, with technology coming around.
I was not
Uh,
a big fan of this album. I thought it was a big come down from the previous album. Like you mentioned, you like the same songs that I liked on. There were a couple of saving graces, but yeah, this album was never a big favorite of mine.
and the funny thing on Wiki and the genre, it has as heavy metal, progressive metal.
Hmm.
You know, So going into the Dream Theater ways of life, things like that. There were, again, Steve Harris didn't need to follow the trend. He was a trend,
Yeah.
and I think that's where he got mixed up and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, they pretty much have had that sound right up until current, in terms of albums. They've definitely morphed more into a almost type of progressive band at times. Really, with every album from this album, going to the final album. Well, I don't know if it's going to be the final one, but I'm not a big fan of this. I would say, yeah, somewhere between, yeah, 2.75. I'll give it.
God. All right, so now we come to 3 years later. Another 3 years it takes. They're doing a lot on the road, touring a lot. August 25th of 2006. Again, produced by Kevin Shirley. 72 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
The most sludgiest, boring, I want to kill myself album. A matter of life and death. Again, this is what Eddie became. A little.
Yeah, that was another one of those album covers. I mean, these albums are very similar. In style and
We
in
have
every facet.
skeletons with Eddie as an insignia on a tank.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what? I can't. I mean, other than the song that I'm playing right now, the reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg that they made as the single,
yeah. I
I,
like that song.
I can't. I don't like anything else. I don't like anything else.
These colors don't run. I like. Honestly, some of these songs, I'm trying, as I'm looking at the titles, I'm trying to remember them. This was another kind of nondescript album.
So
Had
yeah,
a
all right.
couple of good
So
songs.
these colors don't run. So I'm gonna do this quick for everybody just to hear. So here, let's start the first song, "Different World." That's Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
Automatically Iron Maiden. You're like,
yeah.
okay, and now I'm listening to it. I like this song. Okay, next song, "Sludge." Right. Next song. Next song.
Pilgrim.
Next song.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great album.
Next song. Next song. All. It's all depressing.
Mm-hmm.
It's all fucking like
Yeah,
was Steve committing want to commit suicide at the time? Let's say here. Let's see the track. Gears, Harris, Dickinson. Yeah, again. There, I love what I love. Different World. Adrian Smith, Steve Harris. That's
yeah. Well,
why. That's why the song's right.
Anything Adrian Smith wrote for this band was great. It probably, in my opinion, the best songwriter in the whole band was him.
And here's the kicker. They do an entire album tour with this.
That's right. We spoke about this the other day.
I mean,
Backlash that they got. I mean, at least in the States, I don't know about overseas, but the backlash was awful.
and
People were,
which was great because they were more like, well, we don't give a shit.
yeah, no,
Bruce
I
was
know.
saying, we're playing this album whether you like it or not.
Well,
This is what you're hearing.
they still have that attitude. I mean, which that's, I guess they're big enough and have enough money to have that attitude. But they've had that attitude for a while, and we'll talk about it in more in depth going into the other albums. But this album, I would give a generous two. Two.
Yeah. All right. Now I don't have the covers for the next one, so you tell me the next one, and I gotta look it up over here.
Oh, the next album is The Final Frontier.
Show the cover.
Got the Japanese import.
Oh,
I'm,
lucky you.
well, I love this album. So.
All right. I can't wait to get into it. Hold on. All right. And you're gonna pick the song. Hold on a second. Go ahead. You pick the song.
Starblind.
Starblind. Okay. So back history. This album came out August 13th, 2010. This is 77 minutes long. Normally a
77,
CD is 80 minutes.
77 glorious minutes.
Oh, and produced by Kevin Shirley.
Hmm.
It's all yours, my man. Go ahead.
Kevin the Caveman Shirley. This to me is, I think, cover to cover, the one of the, if not the best songwriting they've done since Dickinson returned to the fold. Some of the songs that I love on it are Starblind, The Talisman. I love The Talisman. The Man Who Would Be King, phenomenal. When the Wind Blows, phenomenal. El Dorado, I love. Satellite 15, The Final Frontier. I think this is a great album. Great album. This would get a easily a 4 to a 4.5 from me.
Okay. You ready?
Go ahead. I know they're not gonna.
Worst piece of shit I've ever. The beginning. Okay, folks. In case you never heard, this is the beginning of the album. I want to let people soak this in for a couple of seconds. What the fuck is this? This is not Iron Maiden. Okay? And it's 8 minutes long. It does all this shit and then goes into the song.
Right, but it goes into a great song. The Final Frontier is
All right,
great.
but again, I don't know. I feel maybe then I'm an Iron. You are an Iron Maiden adventurist. I'm an Iron Maiden purist. And I say
Yes,
it has to have that Iron Maiden dry. And El Dorado, oh, what a piece of crap that is, too.
I thought
I
that song
just
was okay. I never thought it was one of the best songs on the album. I thought the second half of the album is really where it shined. From like The Alchemist to When the Wind Blows and everything in between that. That's really the meat and potatoes, I thought, of the album. I like this album a lot.
did you go on this tour?
No, I didn't see them on this tour.
I
I don't,
saw
I don't
this tour
yeah. Was it good?
because then I made a pilgrimage whenever Iron Maiden's going to play. Regardless, I'm going to go see Iron Maiden.
Did they play a lot of stuff off of this?
Yeah, you know what? They're traditional of doing at least 4 to 5, regardless of any album. You're getting it whether you like it or not, type of thing.
I think they did The Talisman was one of them.
Yeah, and it came across okay for what it's because you got the meat and potatoes
Yeah.
too. But for me, I couldn't get through it. Like you said, I again the songs that you like, I think I have to go like okay. So the Man Who Would Be King.
Oh, that's great.
I don't even remember this. That's what I'm saying. I
Great
don't even
song.
like. I don't even remember this stuff.
Starblind is a tremendous song. The Talisman, When the Wind Blows. I think that stuff is great.
But
You may
that's
have
what I'm
to,
saying. You know what the problem is, Tommy? Especially, thank God it was on CD and not vinyl, because I don't think I would have got to the B side. That's
yeah,
how much I didn't like that they front
that's where the
loaded with.
best songs are. The second half of the
Right.
album. First
Okay.
half of the album, I agree. It's okay. I mean, you don't even think it's okay, but I think it's okay. Second half of the album, I think is tremendous. Some of the best songwriting they've done, or maybe the best since Dickinson came back. I actually I almost like this album sometimes more than the album when he first returned to them. I love this album. To me, like an easy four on this
All
album.
right. I'm going 1
Okay.
out of 5 Eddies
Yeah,
for
yeah,
this.
uh,
But I say that's what's great about we don't have to love everything.
it's impossible to like everything for a band that had 17 studio albums. Can say the same thing about a lot of bands.
All right. So now we're moving on, and this is going to be these are the last 2 albums, folks. We're up to 2015, and it's September 4th, 2015. Again, Kevin Shirley became then Martin Birch.
Mm-hmm.
And you show the album cover. We're talking about, and This album is 92 minutes in length, double
Double
CD.
out. Yeah, it was a double album. Yeah.
He had, I guess Steve had a lot of going on in his head, and Bruce. So here we go. This is the red and the black. I love, you
Awesome.
know. Speed of Light. I love.
Yep.
Book of Souls. Great.
What
Uh,
about if eternity should
Empire of the
fail?
Clouds. I really enjoy too, and 18
Oh,
minutes long.
I
This is
know.
Dream Theater shit.
Yep.
You know, solid album. I think they could have made this. I'm glad it's a double, but it definitely could have been a single. You know, and great tour. I would I give this 3.5 Eddies.
Yeah, I mean, I probably lean more in the direction of a four on this. I'm a big fan of it. I for the first time in a long time, they came out with a cover that I actually liked.
Again, they made now they're still making Eddie different. You
Right,
know,
but it was more in the,
it
it
looks
wasn't
like
that,
Eddie. It looks like Eddie now, though.
right. It wasn't
You
like
know,
the cartoonish type of stuff that they were
right?
doing, you know. And I thought, I mean, to have this, I did this shirt. It was a really cool looking shirt too, you know. Um, yeah, I'm a huge fan of this album. They officially at this point were a different band in terms of studio work. They gone were, you didn't get those 3 and 4 minute, punchy type of songs. There was one on this album, but they were really running more in circles of a progressive band at times. But I thought the songwriting was strong. I really base things on songwriting, not whether it's a 15-minute song or a 3 minute song. And I thought that this was a terrific album, really, really good album. Another album I go back to. Um, I would say, easily a four on this. Yeah, a four.
So now we come to the final album, September 3rd, 2021, and again, 81 minutes, 82 minutes in length. Kevin Shirley and it's Shinjitsu.
Wow, this album's 5 years old already, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
right, right,
Doesn't feel.
and very enjoyable.
Oh,
This
you
is
like this?
yes, I like this. I like the production on it. I like the songs. Like yeah, Days of Future Past, awesome. Writing on the Wall, which was the single,
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Shinjitsu, great song. These songs are the yeah, they were playing Time Machine live. They were playing Days of Future Past live. Sounded really good live. I would give this a 4 out of 5 Eddies, definitely. You know,
Death of the Celts is awesome.
yes, yeah, absolutely. This is enjoyable for me.
Now, I know when this album came out, they got a lot of abuse, and somewhat even so the previous album about the production. People were crawling all over them on the production that it didn't sound up to par. And I don't think it's like I think they purposely just were changing the production some because they weren't really doing this real punchy, aggressive metal anymore. It was more like more of a progressive sound. I never had a problem with the production.
Did
And
you
a
show
lot
the
of people,
cover?
yeah, a great cover too. I really like this cover also.
Yeah. Eddie is a samurai.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah,
Is that
I
the
love.
is that the Japanese or that the regular?
This is a domestic press.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have got the Japanese because they had the crappy digipack,
Well,
which
you're an OBI guy.
yeah, yeah.
So
Fortunately, my bank book is paid for it dearly. I love this album. I really do. I mean, this grew on me like a fungus. I just absolutely loved it. When I saw them a year and a half ago, they did a lot of stuff from this album, and I just relished the fact that they did so much off this album. So, yeah, this is 4.5 to 5 for me, this album.
Wow.
Yeah, love it.
And did
Absolutely
you
love
see
it.
this tour?
I certainly did. I went with my son, actually. It was his first time seeing Iron Maiden.
I saw them at Barclays.
I went to the Meadowlands.
Yeah, on this one. Yeah, you know what? For a lot of people who never seen Iron Maiden stays with the same set. They don't change anything. So if you see it once, other being really obsessed and going to every single Iron Maiden show to say I see Iron Maiden every single time they play. One show's enough, you know. And if you can, try to catch the first show with
Hmm.
Bruce, because you don't know what you're getting if it's too close vocally wise.
Yeah, he was when I saw this is only going back a year and a half ago. He was phenomenal. I just couldn't believe how good he sounded, and the energy reminded me of the same level as when they did the big tour in 84, 85, like just running up and down stairs and jumping, and it never stopped, and
Still hitting the
never
notes.
sacrificed his voice at all for it
No.
either.
And this is a guy got throat cancer.
Yeah, he's the same age as I am. We have the same exact birthday. We're like, very, very almost to the month. Um, I was really impressed with how great they were. And I wasn't just saying it as a fan, because if I didn't think it was up to par, I would say it. They were as good as in my opinion, is when I saw them in the '80s multiple
Right.
times.
All right. So now that's our ratings for how we feel about the albums. Now we're going to go in order of how we feel how great these albums are. And you start off with number 17. We're going to go down from 17 down.
You want me to do the whole list? Just go
No,
through it?
you're going
No.
to do yours and I'll do mine.
So I'll go.
Yes, there you
Okay.
go, and then I go.
Starting from the bottom, working
No,
up
17 down.
seven. Oh, you just want me to start from the top?
Yes.
Okay. Number one, Somewhere in Time. Number two, Seventh Son of a Seventh
No, no,
Son.
wait.
You
Number
want to
one, you, and then I go.
go ahead? You go, I
Okay.
go.
So for my 17th one, if I can make it 20th, would be virtual 11. That would be 17.
Okay.
You go. What's 16?
Well, number 17 for me would have been Prayer for the Dying.
Okay, that's what. So that's so.
Yeah.
Prayer for the Dying 17. What's your
16,
16?
Virtual 11.
Okay. Guess what? This should be number 110. That's 16. Go ahead.
Number 15, Dance of Death.
That would be 15th.
15.
Guess what was my 15? Go ahead.
Number 14 would be The X Factor.
Okay. Brave New World for me.
Hmm. Okay. Number 13, Matter of Life and Death.
Mine would be X Factor.
Okay. Number 12, Power Slave. Told you when I reviewed it.
Mine would be Seventh Son.
Wow. Yeah, what we have here, son, is a failure to communicate. All right, number 11, Book of Souls.
Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? I forgot. I would put Shinjetsu next. Go ahead.
So number 11, Book of Souls. So yours is Senjutsu. Okay. Uh, Number 10, The Final Frontier. Makes,
Uh, Book of
makes
Souls.
okay. Okay. Number 9, Sen Jetsu.
Unfortunately, I forgot about Book of Souls, which would be a lot the other way. I would have that's my next rating.
Okay. So we're up to 8, right?
Yeah.
Number 8, Brave New World.
Okay. So my number 8 would be No Prayer.
7, Killers.
Oh, that's a dagger. That's a
Yeah.
dagger.
I mean, you're moving into the elite now for me. So
Fear of the dark.
okay. Number six, peace of mind.
Somewhere in time.
Hmm. Number five, fear of the dark.
Uh, Peace of mind.
Number four, Iron Maiden self-titled debut.
You know what? I was going to go a different way, but I'm going to agree with you.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with you with that. Three left. Ooh,
Top three.
can't wait to hear.
Number of the Beast, number three.
Mm. Power Slave number three.
Yeah, see, there we have a very big disparage of opinion. Number two, seventh son of a seventh son.
Wow. Got to do Number of the Beast as number two.
Okay.
And your number one
Somewhere in time.
will always be Killers.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what.
Always be Killers.
Yeah.
Wow. That was fun.
Like if you took, like for me, if you took like the top seven, like they could even be like borderline interchangeable. That's how great they are. Killers, Peace of Mind, Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, Seven Sons, Somewhere in Time. That was to me, that's like they're real.
You know what? I was stupid, and I'm sorry for that. I should have wrote it down like you did. And Book of Souls Shinjitsu and Final Frontier would have been probably 17, 16, 15.
Mm,
My brain wasn't there because I didn't have the covers. So
yeah.
I forgot about them.
Well,
So
I come
honestly,
prepared.
and then I would have went down that way. All right, everybody. So again, another lengthy interview, but I think this one was fun.
It was
I
for
think
us, yeah.
I think hopefully you have opinions, and please put it in the comments and let everybody know about this show, Hard Rock History. This was episode 5. And my boy Tom Coyne. Guess what? You're going to see this guy a lot more because I'm going to be doing interviews that me and him have similar choice, things. And I'm starting to get a lot more guests that he's also into, and he has a great knowledge of metal also. So he's going to be a great companion for me in certain things that we're going to talk about. Tommy, I want to thank you so much, my man, and welcome to this side of the fence. And hopefully
But
we could do a lot more. All right, so everybody
thanks
take
very much.
care. Up
Bye
the
bye.
irons and Iron Maiden forever. Bye bye.